going to come into a comfortable seat. And before we get started, we're going to work on some nostril breathing using the thumb and the ring finger. We will be blocking the intake on the right side as you take an inhale through the left nostril, and then you'll be switching to the left nostril, exhaling out the right, and then inhaling through the right. Release and alternate the breath cycle as you're going back and forth. Nadi Shadi, or alternate nostril breathing, is a great tool to reset the parasympathetic nerve system, which brings our cortisol levels down, reduces stress, and provides an overall calming effect. We're going to continue for a few more breath cycles, letting go of any judgments or expectations as you're practicing this breathing technique. And once you're balanced out, we'll come back to that neutral position, smooth, calm breathing. And from here, we're going to transition to your butterfly pose. And we'll be holding each pose for about 3 minutes this morning. So bringing the soles of the feet together, bringing in any props that you may need to bring some support to the knees or elevate the hips. The goal with our yin practice is to make the body comfortable so that we can rest in stillness. And finding the shape that feels best for you this morning. We're going to bring a gentle fold, keeping the spine straight. Nice active breath. Feel free to adjust any body parts as you find the asana. Allowing the torso to hang nice and heavy. Feel free to tuck the chin, bringing a little bit of length to the back of the neck. Soften the shoulders. Soften the brow line. With each inhale, we are lengthening the spine. And as you exhale, letting gravity pull you deeper into the pose. This is an excellent way to stretch the lower back without requiring loose hamstrings if you're really tight. And with your next exhale, we're going to slowly come back, bringing the head over the heart over pelvis. And feel free to bring the legs back and forth, knees up towards the sky as we windshield wiper. Counteract the pose. And we're going to extend the legs, find our caterpillar pose, make any adjustments to the sit bones. And as you inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Exhale, soften and fold. And once again, feel free to bring in any bolsters or blocks. Sometimes it's nice to rest the chest on a pillow so you can allow the body to rest in the pose. So the idea with Yin Yoga is to find your edge, but avoiding pain. So if you're thinking about a scale of 1 to 10, we want the body to be at a 5 or a 4, where you can rest comfortably. Sending lots of love to the backside of the body here. Massaging the belly, massaging those organs, keeping that nice steady breath as you're compressing the belly. Really stressing the ligaments along the back side of the spine, strengthening those organs. The caterpillar pose also triggers the urinary bladder. If you have limitations, another option for caterpillar pose is legs up a wall, which we will do towards the end of the practice this morning. I'm going to take a few more breaths here. Just finding patience with yourself as you hold the pose, letting go of any judgments, any self-expectations. And slowly we're going to come up. Take a few breaths here, extend those legs. And we're going to prepare for our swan pose. An alternative to swan pose is deer pose or 90-90. If your hips are real tight this morning, otherwise we are going to extend that left leg, keeping the knee down on the mat. Having a bend in the right leg here, so the sole of the right foot is facing towards the left mat. And you can adjust the distance from the groin to the top of the mat to find what feels best. And once you've found your shape, we're going to settle in. We're going to fold that heart space down towards the earth, coming into our yin swan pose. The swan pose creates an external rotation in that front leg, and it targets the quads and the hip flexors. Great hip opener, creating lots of space through the body here. So being very mindful of the knee when we're bringing any bend to the knees, we want to be sure that we're taking care of them. So once again, if you're experiencing any pain, lessen up on the pose. You can also flex that front foot and press the ankle gently into the floor to relieve any pressure here. Otherwise, we're being nice and still, avoiding any fidgeting, doing our best to keep the mind from wandering, keeping our attention on any sensations in the body. And with our next exhale, we're going to bring the palms under the shoulders. Press that torso up. Open the heart space. And we're going to take a counter pose here. Feel free to come in a downward facing dog, hips nice and high, or even take a child's pose if you prefer. Either way, we're going to take just a few breaths here. And making a slow, intentional transition. Moving with the breath, we are going to find our pigeon or sleeping swan pose on the opposite side. Take a few breaths here to find the asana that feels best for you this morning. And once you're there, we're going to bring that heart space down towards the earth. If you're in your deer pose, that 90-90 pose, feel free to bring in a gentle twist. Either pose, you're going to get a nice deep hip opening. Also getting a little bit into the muscles of the groin in the back. And the idea when we're holding poses for 1 to 5 minutes, sometimes even longer, depending on your level, we're really targeting all those deeper tissues, joints, fascia, bringing lots of oxygen and new fluids throughout the body. And I always like to invite you, if you're finding it hard to stay still, to take a moment to notice any sensations throughout the body, or bring your awareness to the breath as you're inhaling, filling the belly and the lungs, and the quality of the breath as it's exhaling the body. With an exhale, we're going to slowly start to rise. Moving slowly and with intention, we're going to bring that right leg up around the front. Extend both legs. Adjust the sit bones here so you have a nice connection through that root chakra. Any adjustments as needed. We are preparing for our dragonfly pose as you inhale, fingertips to the sky, and exhale, fold. And feel free to bring in a bolster or a block to provide support to the head or the chest. Softening the shoulders, softening the brow line. I invite you to bring the tongue to rest on the roof of the mouth. Dragonfly pose stimulates our liver, spleen, kidney, and bladder meridians. And the meridians are those energy lines of chi that flow throughout the body. And check in with yourself here. See where you are as far as your comfortability of the pose. Allowing the body to soften, letting gravity pull you down with each exhale. Doing your best to stay relaxed in this pose. And the goal is not to get as far as possible. The practice is to be non-judgmental of your body, wherever it lands, and to notice any subtle shifting that occurs while in the pose. So working on your patience, your self-patience as you hold and embody the experience. Noticing how the inside of the legs are being stretched and tugged. And as your next exhale will slowly come up and out of the pose. Extend those legs. And we're going to slowly come down to the back. Find your winded position, hugging the knees to the heart space. And some gentle movement here as you let that low back relax and release. And when you're ready, we're going to extend, bring legs up a wall or a rejuvenation pose. Feel free to support the legs with your arms or the wall. Or you can let them rest at your side or cactus arms. This is a beautiful pose to bring circulation back into the body. So the inversion pose puts the circulation of the body fluids stored in the legs back into the body, returning the blood flow, redistributing and reducing any swelling that you might experience in the legs. Also a beautiful pose to help us de-stress the body. It really guides the body into a state of relaxation and can even help us build a stronger immune system. And while we're here, we're relaxing. Nice smooth breath as you inhale slowly through the nose. Long extended exhale. Just a few more breaths here. And slowly, let's bring the knees back to that heart space. Give yourself a last squeeze or hug. And when you're ready, we're going to come into our final resting pose. It's finding a space where you can rest in stillness. This is definitely one of our most important poses. Learning to be patient with ourselves, allowing the body the time that it needs to adjust to the transitions that it's gone through. And I invite you to find a moment of gratitude